Amazing afternoon, Mama.
Oh, so nice to be here.
You're welcome to our first podcast session. Yes, so my name is Fadeyi Mary, and I'm popularly known as the Global Fadeyi Mary. With me, I have an amazing guest, one of the professor in the Department of Management and Accounting, a professor to the core. So I would like to introduce her. Her name is Professor Adepoju.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. It means so much to us because we want to go beyond classroom. That's why we invited you. And then thank you so much once again.
It's a pleasure.
So for my first question, let's meet Professor Adepoju. Yes, from Doctor, not even Doctor, from Adepoju to Doctor, to Prof, to everything. Yeah, let's meet you.
Okay. Like you're asking about the journey of my academic life.
Yeah.
I want to get that stage. Okay, I started my academic journey in 2009. That's Girls University of Technology. I was an assistant lecturer. And from then I moved to Federal University of Technology, Akure, where I moved from assistant lecturer to lecturer 2 to lecturer 1 to senior lecturer. I literally used 10 years in Federal University of Technology. And from then, I moved to Lee City University, the first private university in Oyo State.
Okay.
And here, look at this, my 5th year in Lee City University. And to the glory of God, last year, I became a full professor. So it has been a wonderful journey of learning, sharing, impacting, and here I am.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark, for that. So you mentioned that you were in FUTA for 10 years. Ma, how would you explain your journey from FUTA to Lee City? Was it because you mentioned that the first private university you're working in is Lee City University? Was it because you wanted to change environment or career or something that made you now eventually come to Lee City?
Okay, the reason why I'm in Lee City, if you are very conversant with HR, there's what we call work-life balance.
Yeah, true.
So work-life balance brought me to Lee City University, and my family has always been here, and we know the importance of family. When a happy worker, a productive worker. So I'm in Lee City as a result of family obligation, and I felt it's better to be close to the family. Even as a woman, the role a woman plays, is very significant. So that's what has brought me here, and I don't think I regret coming here.
Oh, thank you so much for that. So while she was speaking, she made mention of HR and non-HR per se. So we want to dwell a bit on that.
Okay.
Now, you are a lecturer in the Department of Management and Accounting. You've taken me and my colleagues and many other persons HR courses over the years. And sometime in class, you mentioned how we need to look outside and see what is going on in the industry and start making plans while we're still an undergraduate. So do you want to talk about that a bit?
Okay. Now, everyone has this mindset. I'm coming to school to acquire a certificate. Well, it goes beyond that. It's not the certificate that is going to work, but the skills you acquire. So we should look beyond the classroom. We should look beyond acquiring knowledge, but application of the knowledge, which is the skill. So it's really the skill, like the training I took recently, like I laid emphasis that employers want what you can do, what you have to offer, value, what are you bringing to the table, like some people say.
Yeah.
So in HR, I made mention of skill because I know skill is more important. Yeah, knowledge is important, but the application of the skill. So every employer wants people who can solve problems, who can think outside the box, and who can bring their organization to become competitive in a global dynamic environment. So I emphasize the aspect of practicality of what we teach. So look beyond, start equipping yourself so that you can be highly competitive. As you know, you're going to be competing with different people from different schools, even across the globe.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. So I have another question. So looking beyond academics, right, we understand that it's a game of mindset. For some persons, they are in school, they really don't know what they are in school. They just want to get the certificate. And I've heard over time that some persons say, oh, I'm in school, a job is waiting for me. Whether I graduate to the first class, it doesn't matter. So those kind of students who have that mindset that even after school, I just need the certificate, a job is waiting for me after school, what advice do you have for them?
They need a reorientation. Because if you are just about just getting the certificate, by the time you get to the nitty-gritty of the work, you may get stuck. Because the world is evolving. And you may find yourself in a scenario where you have a challenge, you have a problem, and you cannot solve it. So if you don't take caution and take up your mind of just the certificate and let the knowledge, the skill enter into you, you may have problem. Because the world is moving and you cannot be static. So we need to rearrange that when you get to the place of work, there's several problems and challenges that you will face that really needs you to think outside the box, that needs you to solve for you to remain, and you may be like a savior to that organization. So what are we going to do in school?
Wow. So what are we going to do in school? I think that's a question that needs to ring in the minds of our audience. Okay, so I have another question. So how has being a lecturer shaped your perspective of parenting? Yeah, because you see many students, you've come across many students. How has it shaped?
You know, the best parts of this lecturing is the relationship that I've built over the years with students. There's a paper I published on mentorship, that's around 2012, which I was still a young lecturer.
When was that?
2012. And one thing is having meeting students from different family, different upbringing, different perception, different orientation has given me a wider view of parenting. Because now you see people from broken homes, you see people from good homes, but their parents don't have time for them. You even see people from good homes, but there is a gap. There's something missing that you tend to identify while you are lecturing them. So sincerely speaking, the best part of this lecturing job is getting to know different space of life about students from different homes and trying to apply that even to my own raising my own children and becoming a local parent while you're in school. You know, I've been so emotional with some students, like, you know, they tell you their problems. I even go back to do extra work, like, how can I help? You know, this is a destiny, this is a life. You know, HR, talking about identifying the individual peculiarity, valuing human. Sincerely speaking, those experiences has been the best experience of my life.
Oh, thank you, ma. I can testify to that part where you mentioned relating with students, because I have one student who reached out to me and he reached out to me and said, "Oh, Professor Adepoju helped me with my fees," and I'm like, yes, so I can testify. Thank you so much for that. So, ma, what would be your one advice to somebody who is in school and feels like all hope is lost, maybe coming from a broken home, they've seen their parents do things and they're like, I don't even know what kind of parent I'm going to become. I don't know if I'm even going to get a job outside school based on your faith, because I know you're a faith person. Yes, so talking from that aspect.
When you asked that question, the one word that came to my mind, there's no way the journey of my life will be complete without talking about the father of faith, and that's Bishop David Oyedepo. And one thing he keeps saying, he keeps ringing in my ears, you are absolutely responsible for the outcome of your life. It doesn't matter where you are coming from, it doesn't matter your parents, if you were given birth to in the bush, that is not it. It has to do with yourself. What do I want to become? We have seen children from broken homes becoming great people in the world, having global visibility. So my advice is that it's not about your parents, it's about what do you really want. Everybody must get to a stage in their life that they need to ask themselves a sincere question. Why have I been created? Why am I here? What am I out to achieve? That's like a strength that builds you up, keep you going, regardless of the situation you are finding yourself.
That's a masterclass. Thank you so much, ma, first. That to end the podcast now, I want you to say something to our audience, because we have many young students, your students, my colleagues, and many people that will be watching. So what's that one thing you want to tell them? Maybe encourage them, maybe challenge them, or something that you would like to.
Okay, one word I want to say is everybody is special and you are created for a purpose. I'm sorry to use this word. You're not an accidental discharge.
No.
You are fearfully and wonderfully made. But now the onus is on you. What do you want to make out of life? You understand? Everybody has challenges they are going through. But you, the strength you have can pull you through. So you need to consciously ask yourself that sincere question. Why am I here? What is my purpose? A lot of people have lost identity. And that's one of the major things I discover in my experience in the university. Some don't even know why they are here. They don't know what they are doing. They just blow like the wind, wherever the wind blow them to. It's important for us to know our identity and what we want to achieve. And believe me, you can do all things through Christ.
That's
strength. Just believe in yourself.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. That was really an amazing session. I felt like a masterclass. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Pleasure.
You were the first person I sent out the mail to. I'm like, Professor Adepoju will not tell us no. She will be willing to support us. Thank you so much for
It's a pleasure.
Your support. Thank you so much, everyone. This is the first session and the first episode. The first season, rather, and the first episode. Stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you. Bye. Say bye to the camera. Thank you so much, madam.
Let's have a picture.
Yeah. Behind the scene crew.
Surrounding like a shield.
Yeah.
Let me have you to know how much it costs to get an iPhone. They're not cheap.
He does content, so it's really an investment for him. Ma, please, we need to bring it back to life.
I brought you.
Why?
And that was the period of time that people have not really got into this content.
Concentration.
I do everything myself. I put, these put it there. Use there's this